Hi, it's Ashleigh from Sweet Dreams Bake Shop, and if you've been watching my little mini-series on all of these Disney villain cake jars, then you can go ahead and skip through this section to get to the specific part that's about the Ursula cake jars. And if you're new here, welcome. Today we're making strawberry compote, and it's very simple to really turn any fruit of your choice into a compote. You basically take your fruit and then you put it on the stove, you sprinkle a 1/4 cup of sugar all on that fruit, and then you boil it. The reason I'm mashing it here is because I want that particular mouthfeel when people are eating my compote, but if you prefer whole fruit or if you prefer sliced fruit, do that instead. The whole point of boiling the fruit is to make sure it gets nice and tender. Once you feel it's tender enough, then you can take out that fruit and then you're going to reduce down that liquid. You might have to add more sugar to that liquid in order to reduce it completely. If you find it's still not reducing fast enough but you don't want to add any more sugar, take some of that liquid out. Now moving on to our Italian meringue buttercream portion. Now I've made this a ton of times, but I thought I better include it in this video as well. You could also use any type of buttercream that you want. If you want to use American, use that. If you want to use store-bought, you can also use that. Just make sure to re-whip it so that it's really easy and beautiful to pipe. If you have a gas stove, this part goes really quickly. Whenever I do it on my electric stove, it takes quite a while. So you want to take that sugar and water mixture and bring it to 244 degrees Fahrenheit and slowly pour it into already whipping egg whites. If your egg whites are not whipping already, it's going to take a long time for this to come together. Your bowl is still going to be warm at this point, so that works well for you if you're using butter that's directly from the fridge. For this recipe, I always use butter directly from the fridge because I find that it's just the right temperature to melt enough to whip up perfectly within minutes. Every time I've used room temperature butter, it becomes too soupy and then I have to wait a long time until I can actually use that Italian meringue buttercream. I'm using a super dark purple for this buttercream, which I just dyed with some Chefmaster in violet. I will put everything that I'm using down in the description box below. I kind of create a dam with this icing so that I can put the strawberry compote directly inside. I don't want that strawberry to be showing, so I'm using all of the cake and that icing dam to cover it up. I do also want to make note that all of the ingredients that I'm using and the materials that I like to use, they are not affiliate links and I'm not sponsored by anybody, so it's truly just the products that I really like to use. For this particular cake jar, I put a lot of cake in that center because I wanted the top and the bottom to be the filling. It may not seem like a lot of cake, but I actually think that there's enough cake and frosting in here to be the equivalent of maybe 2.5 cupcakes. If you're new to piping cupcakes, I always say have zero fear. As soon as I got rid of the fear of piping, then it came really easily. So really just have a nice squeeze and even pressure and then swoop up. Today I'm using a classic star tip, but really any type of tip will do. Now I'm putting on my Sixlets and my edible pearls. I love Sixlets because they're actually chocolate, so they taste so good. And I'm kind of trying to make the pearls kind of come down one way only. But really, you can do whatever you want. If you want to put the pearls all over, by all means. I'm also adding these white little quins. I think they kind of look like bubbles, kind of like something Ursula would be sitting in. Now, with all of my Disney villain cake jars that I've been doing, I kind of just want to allude to the character rather than having the full character in fondant on top of the cake jar. So we're just going to do one tentacle. You could even do maybe 3 tentacles and that would look really cool as well. But I kind of just want this one tentacle creepily popping out of that frosting. Now to make the tentacle, I just rolled some black fondant and then I made these little purple dots and I just took the end of a paintbrush to push them in to make it look more like a tentacle. I only have a chocolate seashell mold. I don't have a fondant one, so I'm going to make my own seashell here. And all I really did was I made the general shape of the seashell, and then I'm taking this tool to indent. I found the closer together I did this, the more it looked like a seashell. The further apart I did this, it kind of looked like a paw. So just use your discretion on how you would like your seashell to look. Adding on some more black pearls, and I would say if you were making several of these, it would probably be smart to make a sprinkle mix. That way you can just kind of sprinkle everything all together on top of your cake jars. And I'm just going to add a hint of gold to that seashell to give it a little bit more differentiation. The palette that I am using is just water activated edible paints. These would be perfect for a little mermaid party, but they would also look super creepy and fun and different for Halloween as well. So one of the main draws of cake jars is that they're portable and you can eat them on the go. So of course you want to include some sort of fork or spoon with this. I'm including a fork because of the whole dingle hopper thing, but normally I put a spoon with my cake jars. I love using the tool because it gives it a really nice ethereal feel, but it's also a lot easier to handle than using curling ribbon or satin ribbon. So the pricing for this is pretty straightforward. If this were a custom order and I was specifically asked to do all of these details, it would be $12.50 Canadian each in my area. But of course, if this were a stock order, it would be cheaper. They would be $10 each. And this would probably be something that I would put out seasonally. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can be part of the Sweetie fam. Right now, I'm uploading daily, so make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. Also, be sure to comment, request, or ask a question. I love hearing from you guys.